And good morning is 7:04 on this Friday, January 20th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome. A Friday morning, and it is not frosty this morning. Temperature in mid 30s, maybe 36, 37. I didn't hear, but I think it's something like that. It's cloudy and there's no frost, so how about a fantastic Friday? We're on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust, as we are each Friday at this time, and Heidi King joins us this morning to talk about investments, really. But Heidi, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is really nice to have you today, and I want to mention something because you do securities with Raymond James at Wilson Bank, and you were given a tremendous, prestigious award not too long ago, right?
I was.
Well, tell us about it. Not to well, it's something you certainly are appreciative, proud of to have been so recognized.
Yeah, Raymond James recognizes one woman every year from the banking division as their Distinguished Woman of the Year. And at Women's Conference back in September, I won that award for Raymond James nationally. And so it's definitely a humbling moment, and to know that you've been doing a good job for many, many years. And I still am a little speechless.
Well, I hope it got you a raise, but regardless. Well, you are here primarily to talk about investment because that's what you do.
That
right?
is what I do, yes.
So what do you have for us this morning?
Well, I know that last year was a little turbulent, to say the least, right?
Yes.
It left a lot of clients on edge, and I think that what we do at Wilson Bank does take every client by the hand and make sure that we're in line with their goals and objectives, and removing some risk when we need to, or adding some when times are a little more appropriate to do so. But really, the planning part of what we do and the personal one-on-one attention, especially through extreme market volatility, I feel like makes us a little unique. It's not a 1-800 number, Fidelity or Vanguard, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, you enjoy what you're doing. You are no doubt a people person, and enjoy helping people to really increase their wealth.
That's exactly right. And, curbing off the downside in times that we had in 2022, so where you're not going down as much as the overall market, really helps the big picture. So I know a lot of clients, you come in, you do reviews. Negative numbers are never something we want to talk about, but they are reality sometimes. Right. But when you can look back, I had a client review yesterday, and we looked back over the past year, and it was less than half of the downside of the market. And that can be comforting for a lot of people, especially when they had just started taking income. And so a lot of that planning that we do is making sure people can retire and live the life that they want to live, and not be worried that the market's going to wipe it all out from underneath them.
Well, I got to ask this, since it's you. You ever get blamed for the market going down?
I think if you set expectations correctly on the front end, then no, you're either a genius or an idiot in this business, Coleman.
But your recommendation, if you are in well with that client, your recommendation most likely goes a long way with them.
Absolutely. And I feel like this business is built on a lot of trust. And we have a lot of schooling and continuing education that we have to do year after year to make sure that we are staying on top of what's going on in the market, what is going on in financial planning, and different tools and resources that come about every year, and a lot of laws and changes. So that's one thing that we're navigating right now. That Secure 2.0 that just came out at the end of December, that's going to have a lot of impact for people's required minimum distributions going forward, or how much money they can contribute and how to 401k plans. Mm-hmm. So making sure that we stay up on all of those different topics to educate our clients on a timely basis, I think is really important.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how it's all set up, but what I'm wondering, are you full up? Or are you still seeking new clients?
So we're always open for business, that's for sure. I really feel like just coming in, if you have questions about what do you need to do next? Or you're ready to retire and you've accumulated all this wealth in a 401k plan and you've put it in, but you don't know how to get it back out. It's really, we've got somebody at the office here in Lebanon, all the way now from Cookeville to Cool Springs and everywhere in between. We've got someone that you can sit down and talk to about your situation and see if you're a good fit, because it's a two-way street. You've got to like me and I've got to like you, and make sure we can work together going forward.
Well, it all started with one person, and you've got a number now, and you joined sometime along at a good time, no doubt.
That's right. So Larry Squire started us in the mid 90s. I think we've got over 25 people on staff now at Wilson Bank, just in the investment department.
Yeah.
So, I started back in 03, so it'll be 20 years in May.
Wow. And you enjoying nearly every minute of it.
Just about.
Yeah.
If I could control the markets a little better, it'd be easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You'd really be a genius.
That's
there.
right.
You better do a disclaimer here as we close
Absolutely.
out.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, are not guaranteed by Wilson Bank and Trust, subject to risk and may lose value, not a deposit, not insured by FDIC or any government agency.
Thank you, Heidi King, for being with us this morning. And I did not mention you were once fairest of the fair. Got to get that in, too.
Always. Thank you, Coleman.
Thank you. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're excellence in banking since 1987. And we're 10 and a half minutes after the hour. And I'm going to turn the microphone up just a little bit as I introduce our Friday Senate report and Senator Mark Bodie.
Good morning, Coleman. What a great day to be alive.
Oh, good morning, Senator. How are you?
Coleman, I'm doing good. I'm excited. We're going to be going back down to the Capitol today. The governor's getting inaugurated this weekend. So this is like as official as you can get to say that we are ready to start business and get bills going and get everything in line that we need to have.
So, because he is starting another four-year term, he has another inauguration.
That's correct. So this will be a second one. And
Not as glamorous probably as the first.
probably not, but it'll still be, there'll be road closures and things like that. And there'll be a lot of people down at the Capitol tomorrow.
Well, no doubt. And we do have in Tennessee, I believe, you can only serve 8 years as governor, then you let somebody else come in. The terms are limited for governor in Tennessee.
That's correct. And that's not a bad thing either. I like that idea of term limits. And 8 years is a good amount of time because he can get things done that he wants to, but he's not there forever.
Well, so it'll be a festive weekend on Capitol Hill in Nashville.
It will be, yes.
And then when you get down to business, Monday, really?
It'll be Tuesday that our first sessions will be going in, and we actually have committee meetings going on starting next week.
Well, we talked about your committee assignments last time, and
So, and we got a couple of different committees. Now, the House won't actually be in next week, where the Senate will be. So we've actually already started to move forward. And the committees that I'm on is going to be transportation to start with. And transportation greatly affects Wilson County. We need roads. And in fact, I was with the commissioner of TDOT this week, so I'm talking to him to make sure that Wilson County is always forefront of what we're looking at. We're also going to be on the Education Committee. And Coleman, I'm going to tell you, that was not the committee I wanted to be on. It is probably, of all the committees out there, that was one of the lower ends that I wanted to be on. I've never taught kids, and it's like, I don't know why that would have been the choice. However, I think because I picked up Davidson County, and there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to be doing in Davidson County. We got a great school system here in Wilson County, between Lebanon Special, between Wilson County school systems, but Davidson County not so much. And there's going to be a lot of education issues coming up with Davidson County, and I think that was kind of trying to put me on to be looking at some of those issues. And we've gotten a lot of.
You're going to be most likely looking at them in a little bit different angle or idea than some have in the past.
Absolutely. And so I've actually reached out to Jeff Luttrell as well as Brian Hutto, and I said, guys, now that I'm going to be on education, I really would like to make sure that I have people that are my board that I have, the advisory board, are well represented in education, so they can help kind of guide me, so I can have teachers, principals, and different thoughts, as well as parents and who needs to be on that advisory board, so I can get the best ideas that I need to down at the Capitol for education.
Well, speaking of your advisory board, I know one person that's pretty much a regular member of it.
Yes, yes.
And he told me yesterday, I believe you were supposed to have a meeting late yesterday.
We did. We absolutely did. So, Coleman, here I am. And for January, we don't really have new bills of other members that we talk about. So January is just basically the bills that I'm presenting. And so I bring my bills and I tell them, listen, if I can't make it where you all are comfortable with the bills that I'm presenting, I'm not going to run them. So everybody in that committee, if I don't get the right votes, I won't run that bill because then it's not something the state needs. And so I presented two bills. I said, hey, this is the bill that I'm looking at, and here's a bill that the House member wants. They're similar bills and had to do with limiting the governor's authority and to call an emergency. Right now he can call an emergency and suspend all of our constitutional rights, and there's no really checks and balances on it. He can renew it after 45 days and just keep renewing it, which happened during the COVID period. And I said, I think that before it's renewed, it needs to have general session, members of the General Assembly at least approve it. So it can't be, he can still call it, but it can't be renewed without the authority of the General Assembly. And I said, I think after 30 days would be the right number. And my House member thought it would be 45 days. So I brought both bills to the committee and I said, now guys, the 30 days is mine. I'd like the 30-day one. My House member wants the 45. And I really thought they were all going to vote for mine at 30 days. And they all turned around and voted for the 45-day with the House member. And then I said, okay, I'm amending mine. I'm going to go right with the House member. But it's interesting because that committee, that advisory board, will direct my votes. It directs what I do. And I just try and have a wide range of individuals on that advisory board.
Well, what was the general thinking? That maybe 30 days is not hardly enough?
Because the law already says it's 45 days, that it might be easier just to change one part of it, but keep the other laws. And it would be easier to do a 45-day rather than 30-day. I just don't like the fact that anybody can suspend our constitutional rights for any length of time. So I was going to try and shorten it as much as we possibly can. But, and they're right, it would be easier just to do the 45-day and keep the law as close to what we have as possible.
So you're going to be okay with that?
I will. But, I'm telling you, it's those kind of things that the advisory boards goes through. And they actually caught a couple other things that I was looking at. And I thought I'll change the bill to help.
Well, I know a little bit about the composition of your board. You have different walks of life, different professions. You even have some Democrats that you invite.
Absolutely.
To come. And I commend you for that because you do have a pretty much cross-section of our public there to advise you.
And we do. So I do want Republicans, Democrats, independents, somebody from education, somebody from law enforcement, somebody that's retired, somebody that has kids, somebody from the medical society. So, it is important to me. I even have a judge that's on there, and he is probably so influential because he'll say, Pody, you all make laws, but we were the ones supposed to interpret. And sometimes you all make a law, we don't even understand how to interpret it. And that's been very helpful for me.
Senator Mark Pody is here, our Friday Senate report. We'll take a break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And to 718, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get a battery installed on most vehicles, $134.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Pretty heavy right now with that traffic volume coming out of Rutherford County on 24 out through the Hickory Hollow area. As you continue past Bell Road. A little bit of radar spotted in Wilson County already this morning, up and down I-40, especially in and out of the Mount Julian area. Be careful. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee and the entire nation. They've got edibles, flowers, concentrates. Check them out online at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us on Friday Senate Report with what else?
All right, so the next thing, Coleman, is December revenues. How much money did the state actually take in? And of course, we're listening to the national debate on raising the debt ceiling. You know, right now, if they do that, every single taxpayer will owe the federal government $247,000. Wow. That's like buying a house. Not even, I mean, it's like, are you kidding? We each would owe $247,000. But let's look at Tennessee. And Tennessee is one of the lowest tax states in the nation. You know, the amount of money that we owe is the least amount in anywhere in the country. However, the December revenues came in, and we did grow some, but not across all the boards. So we are growing. Tennessee is moving the way it's supposed to. However, one of the things that was down a little bit was the gasoline motor fuel. It did increase by 0.93% compared to last year. So we were 2 million more than what we had. And for the 5 months that we're into it, because we start actually from July 1st on, so we're not on a calendar year, we're on a fiscal year. But for the 5 months that we're on, we're actually about $3 million less than what we anticipated for the roads. And I'm on the transportation committee, and as we're looking at that, it's going to be how can we fund roads differently? And, you know, one of the things we kind of talked about was the choice lanes. You know, now in choice lanes, people can say, well, that's not necessarily toll roads. Choice lanes just means it's a code word for toll roads. I mean, if you pay on a road to go on it, you're paying a toll to go on it, even if you're choosing one way or the other, whatever. But we do have to get more money into the transportation department for our roads. We need our roads to be fixed, and it's just going to be how we're going to do it, what our choices are that we got to do. So even if the road money's down a little bit, we've got a lot of extra money that came in. We are literally, hundreds of millions of dollars of extra money that came in other sources. And it's going to go back to, we did the gasoline tax, the Improve Act, and the gas tax was increased, but it wasn't put to indexed or anything like that. And that's why we're having some of these troubles now that we talked about before. And we really got to assess how we're going to fix our roads going forward. That's one of the big issues we'll be talking about.
So what you're saying here, right now the gasoline tax is not really paying for the roads, which is what you would like for it to do. That you didn't have to appropriate money from somewhere else or rob Peter to pay Paul, as we say.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But we're literally about $1 billion right now overfunding in what we anticipated in the state of Tennessee. And it's one thing when we get extra money, it's not a bad thing that we're getting extra money. Like last year we got a whole bunch of extra money, a lot of it from the federal government and such, but it's what we do with it that is sometimes frustrating to me. And if I were to put a priority, when we have extra money, I want to make sure our savings account, like what we call the rainy day fund, is completely full. And our future obligations, are they paid? So health insurance for our employees that work for the state, is it fully paid for going forward when they retire? I want to make sure that we pay off any debt that Tennessee has. So if we have extra money, make sure our savings account's done, make sure our debts are paid. And then we got to work on how can we return some of this extra money back to the taxpayers, so we don't just keep it and start new programs. I know that the federal government, they give money away so fast in grants and such that they can't sustain. And states take that money. We just suck it up and spend it, where it needs to go back to the taxpayers and let our taxpayers make those decisions rather than government do those decisions.
Well, the thing about, the federal government, and anytime they dole some back to the states, there's some strings attached. And really, you just about have to look at what is required to get that before you say yes.
That's exactly right. And I can't blame some of the states or the cities or the counties or schools that take the money when they say, it's free money, but it's not free. It's taxpayer money, and what we do with it really counts. So that's going to be another decision that we're going to be fighting with. One thing about Tennessee, we don't keep having this debt ceiling raised like the U.S. government does. We make sure we have a balanced budget, and we are really good. And this was not just Republicans. Democrats did the same thing. When they were in charge, they were still fiscally conservative here in Tennessee, unlike they are in Washington, D.C.
I think if every state was in as good a financial shape as Tennessee is, this nation would be in a lot better shape financially.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
And everybody needs to stay in a budget. We do personally, a business does, and government has to as well. We cannot continue to borrow money and let our kids and grandkids pay it off.
Well, as far as our state's indebtedness, I would like to say we're pay-as-you-go. We're not exactly that. I mean, we do borrow money from time to time. There's bonds that's issued and this sort of thing, but I think we are in good shape there, aren't we?
We are very good shape, and we are, like I say, we're one of the best in the nation. If we look at our pension funds, we are almost completely funded for our pension funds, for our teachers, for our state employees. Again, one of the best in the nation. We are paying off things that we owed. It was for future benefits for our insurance. And at one time, we had $1 billion deficit. We are working that down, and we are now to just a couple $100 million, and that's still a lot of money, but I'm hoping with the extra money we have right now, that's what I would like to pay off rather than new programs.
What are you hearing anything really? You had a meeting in the chamber the other day. I'm wondering what you are hearing from your constituents, and maybe especially if there's been any particular comments about these the choice, the toll road, or however we say that.
The choice lanes, yes.
Choice lanes.
Choice lanes. And for the most part, people don't want them. They want the roads fixed. They want to be able to get moved around Tennessee a lot better than what we are, especially when I go into Nashville on a regular basis, or if I ride the train. You know, people want the roads to be fixed. And choice lanes will help pay for a lot of these things. And if we had no other choice to do it, no other opportunity, I could understand that. But we do have other funding mechanisms that we can use to help do that. I'll give you a good example. You know, we're talking about raising the registration fee on electric cars, and I understand that. But if I would take the money we're currently paying, that no increase, just that we're currently paying, for example, for when you buy a tire or get tires, take that sales tax on tires and put that directly to the roads. That way, if you got an electric car, if you got any kind of car, it's touching the roads, and you get to pay for the road. Just take that current sales tax, put those kind of things towards the road funding. Something else, if we take anytime you buy a used car or a new car, you pay a sales tax on that car, whether it be electric, whether it be any kind, and just reallocate that and say that money is going to the road fund. So we're not increasing taxes in any way, but I'm just saying those that use the roads would pay for it.
Okay, you're talking about the state part.
State part,
because
yep.
I think there's some of the local that when there's certain situations where it goes to education.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking
You
about the
don't wanna
state.
touch that.
Don't want to touch that. Just the state part of it.
Yeah.
But roads are something we're supposed to do at the state. That is what the government is supposed to be working on, and that is the state. I mean, we don't expect individuals to do the roads in front of their house. That is a state requirement that we want to do that on the state roads. So I think we should pay for it. I think we need to add more money to transportation. We just got to do it more in a user fee, and I think we can do it with our current tax revenue right now.
Well, we've got about 3 minutes. Time has flown this morning, but what else is
All right, so
on
Coleman,
your
every
mind
time I
or on
talk
your
to you,
agenda?
it is. Okay, so I mentioned that we're on education as well as transportation. The other one is going to be state and local. State and local is going to be, and I met with Mayor Hutto, and I told him I'm on state and local as well. That means anything that's going on with cities or counties, it's going to have to come through our committee. Veterans anything happening with veterans comes through our committee. And then also corrections. And I actually met with the chairman, and I said, you know, I don't feel comfortable with how all of our corrections or prisons are being run. I actually feel that there's a little bit of corruption going on in the prisons. You know, I hear about people getting drugs in prison. I go up and visit different prisons. You know, there's cell phones in prisons, and I'm thinking, how can the prisoners get some of this going on? And I really would like to look into that a little bit more, and I can do that on state and local. So all of our corrections will be coming underneath there, and I've asked to be put onto a committee to actually look at that. So I'll find out next week if that happens or not. I'm not sure if it will, but that's something else that'll be coming through.
Well, you must have been hearing from some people that it has affected who are concerned about this.
Absolutely.
Directing your concern here.
So I was involved when, for example, it came to Trousdale. And Coleman, I've been in the insurance business. So before I actually came into the political world, I would be doing enrollments, for example, all the teachers up in Trousdale County, when they would do their 403Bs or cancer insurance, whatever, we would talk to every single one of them. Well, that means I had a whole lot of connections up in Trousdale County with the teachers, their families, and so forth. And now a lot of those folks have gone on to other things besides teaching, and they work at the prison. So they would call me on a regular basis and say, Senator Potter, you wouldn't believe what just happened in the prison here. Or you wouldn't believe what I just seen. And I trust them. They were clients. They still are. And I have no reason not to believe what they're telling me. And it's not just at that prison, but across the state, because prisoners come in from, and they're transferred from, different facilities around the state. And I got a lot of information that way that I'd like to look into a little bit more.
Well, that's it's a difficult thing to even to control, no doubt. But you somehow need to get to the bottom of this as best you can, and I would just say good luck or whatever, because it's not an easy thing. There's so many ways that they can get around the authorities or whomever, and so I wish you the best.
Well, I will be looking into that one way or the other a little bit tighter to see what is actually going on in our prison system. And we just got a brand new commissioner. And so the governor has appointed a new person. I've not even met them yet. And I'll be anxious to meet the new commissioner to see what his thoughts are. He'll have to come through our committee as well, so I'll get to talk with him. And we also got a new commissioner for health. And he came from Kentucky. So I'll be anxious to meet with him. So I know our governor currently is making some changes right now.
Okay, we've come to the end of our time here, but we'll see you next Friday and do it again.
Coleman,
you so much.
thank you.
All right, Senator Mark Pody, our Friday Senate Report. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Several THV units scattered up and down I-24 in Rutherford County this morning. Be careful. That traffic volume is pretty heavy right now. It's pretty much on schedule. 24 west as you come past Walden Road. All that traffic headed towards Nashville into Davidson County. Down I-40 in Wilson County. We've seen quite a bit of radar as well this morning. Please be careful. Nash Painting Services, all in Middle Tennessee. If you want it done right the first time, and I'm sure you do, call Nash Painting at 829-6858. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Join us at the 2023 Southern Home and Garden Expo presented by Wilson Bank and Trust. This is a great time for you to connect with local vendors, explore new products and services, and meet our experienced local lenders who can help bring your vision to life. So come visit the Southern Home and Garden Expo at the Farm Bureau Expo Center in Lebanon on Friday and Saturday, February 10th and 11th. There will be exclusive prizes and giveaways, so make sure you do not miss out. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Believe it or not, it's almost time for Cumberland University baseball, and you can join me, Randy Salas, and Cumberland Phoenix head baseball coach Ryan Hunt, along with a couple of his Phoenix players for Batter Up, an hour-long baseball season kickoff show this Tuesday, January 24th at 7:05 a.m. during the Coleman and Company show. Hopes are high for the 2023 season at the Six, also known as Woody Hunt Stadium, and we'll go in-depth discussing it all with Coach Hunt and his players. That's Batter Up, Tuesday, 7:05 a.m. You won't want to miss it. Go Phoenix.
Those cooler temperatures are here through the weekend, and we're looking at rain chances to return as well. We're climbing out of the 30s this morning, only headed for a high of 46 for the afternoon. Saturday, we'll have some sun with a high of 49, but clouds and showers are back for Sunday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on Friday morning. Each Friday at this time, we welcome members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. And it's actually been 2 weeks since we have seen Miss Judy and Medina. Yeah, last week Doris Gorman came. It was nice to see Doris. She doesn't come on a regular basis, but she's a great fill-in for you, and it was like old times.
Well, that's why I wanted everybody to get to hear from Doris for a change, and thought we would set out and let Doris shine today.
Well, Doris is really a fine person.
Oh, she
and I
is.
really
She's wonderful.
Enjoyed her visit. She was in it even before you, wasn't she?
That's right. I've learned. I was going to say I've learned a lot from Doris through the years, and watched her how she handles her clients and stuff. So
Well, these are two members, and welcome, Medina.
Good morning, Coleman.
The C&D team, two members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, which is located at 1330 West Main in Lebanon. I'm sure our regular listeners know all that. They are great people. They offer great service, and they're people you can trust. And so we've got a lot of things to talk about. That.
Yes,
I
we
kind of
do.
mention Wayne Oakley.
Yes,
he
go
was here
ahead.
Monday talking about Lebanon girls softball and brought pecan pie. And now I understand that is your mother's pecan
Recipe.
pie recipe.
and he's got her chocolate one, and he got it down pat. He know him and his daughter Anya. They can make Granny's chocolate pie just like Granny. We can't tell the difference. So she tried to teach all of us, but Wayne and Anya got the real chocolate pie.
Right. Well, I had a long talk with him after we got off the air, and I found out a lot of things about that. But that's pretty much a secret recipe. I
That's right. It's a
understand.
secret
the
recipe.
chocolate pie.
That's
anyway.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, we're bringing Billy in here because we had a little presentation. You know, we do our commercials, and sometimes we show up and
He looks scared.
and Billy looks like he's scared of us. But, you know, we come in here and say, okay, Billy, and we have it written down on a little scrap of paper, and he is so patient with us to get the commercial, because sometimes we'll start laughing and then we can't quit laughing. And he's so patient just to get the commercial done, and he just is a big help to us.
Well, let me tell you, every commercial you hear me do here,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that a lot of times it's even written it. I go in there and say it, and he takes it from there. So I know how
right.
good he is.
Well, we don't type ours up. We usually write it on a sugar packet
napkin
or
or
a napkin, and,
something,
and so we're reading it, and he's like, oh, man. But most of the time we get tickled and we can't stop laughing. So that's usually our problem. But I said he should have took all those takes for all the years. We could have a funny video. But anyway, we wanted to do something for Billy, just to thank you for all you do for the radio station and for us and for the other customers that you have. People don't know the background that has to go into having those commercials, and they come out sounding great. And we mess up, he fixes it. And we breathe too long, or we take too long, or whatever. He pushes it together, and it comes out looking good. Makes us look really good.
Yeah, that's his job, but he does it well.
Yeah, you get.
What are you going to say something, Medina? Oh,
It says keep calm and let Billy handle it. And we got him a t-shirt, so that he can wear it now. It says everybody stay calm. Billy's gonna handle it.
that is great.
Well,
and that
Nobody else can wear it but you.
it says it so well,
Well, it
because
does.
I know it's nothing. You go in there and do your part and just leave it up to him. He's going
That's
to take
right.
care of it.
Well, a lot of people say, you got to do a commercial. I said, yeah, it'll take us 4 or 5 minutes. And they go, 4 or 5 minutes? I'm like, that's all it takes with Billy. He just fixes it and it makes it look like we took a long time. But
That's right.
well, he'll wear it at the shooting range. Okay. Well, we
right.
just want to appreciate and thank you for everything you do for us. Okay.
That is really
Really.
great. I want to thank y'all for doing that.
Well, he's
very-
one of
very
those
deserving.
quiet people behind the scenes
Behind
that
the scenes.
is always willing and ready, and doesn't ever give you, when we come in here at the last minute and go, oh man, we need to change this, and he fixes it just real quick. So
Is that your lecture for today?
I'll talk real quick.
What else?
Well, I'll let Medina talk.
Okay.
You go right ahead,
Talk,
Medina.
Medina.
Well, just we have a brand new listing on the market. It's been coming soon for a couple of weeks. The seller has gotten the house ready, so it's active as of this morning. It's 706 Melody Drive in Lebanon and Westview Acres, which is on Level Pike, which is right beside the National Guard Armory and the airport runway. And it is 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,800 square feet. It's on a corner lot. It has a fenced-in private backyard. The kitchen has been remodeled. It has a 1-car garage and a 2-car carport. Beautiful ranch, 1 level, a couple of steps going in the front door, and that's it. So it is listed at $439,900. So give us a call. I'm sorry, $394,900. Excuse me. You just got a special there. It's $394,900. So, but give us a call for that one. And but like I said, it's brand new. It won't last long. It's ranch. There's not many 1-level homes being built anymore.
Right, yeah.
And Westview Acres is one of those established neighborhoods that has been here. I think those houses were built in 77 and 78. good bones, J.W. Van Hook built most of those houses in that neighborhood.
Okay.
So give us a call on that one. And then we have the house on Murfreesboro Road, Murfreesboro Road West. And it is a little bit over 2 acres. And it's backs up to Dayton Freight. And so give us a call on that one if you're wanting to be on that side of town. So we have other listings as well. So give us a call and we'll be glad to show you the homes. If our sign is not in the yard, give us a call and we'll still show you the house.
615-443-3130 if you don't have their cell phones.
Yeah.
That's right.
And next week, I'll talk about home warranties. I was going to talk about that today, but I'll do that next week, of why buy a home warranty and what they mean and what they don't mean, because people have misconceptions on home warranties.
We will be looking forward to being educated more.
Okay.
All right, that going to do it for today?
That's do it.
Well, Medina always has the last word.
Well, before I do the last word, remember the Kiwanis Roast is March 28th at
and
the
your
Capitol
place
Theater.
on West Main is
At
a place to
Exit
get
Realty
the tickets.
on
Yep.
West Main, Exit C&D team on West Main, and call us, come by, and we'll have the tickets.
I think we get them February the 1st, I
Yes.
think is what they told us. So we've already got people calling us saying, reserve me one, reserve me one. So we're just making a list right now.
Okay.
But we will have them on the 1st of February. So just
give us
Well,
a call.
that is good.
And so,
Yes.
remember, don't make a move without us.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you all next Friday. C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main. Judy Cox, Medina Hemmentoller with us each week. And with us about once a month is the lady I'm about to introduce from the Farm Bureau Expo Center, Gail Hibbert, who is the Director of Marketing and Events. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
And we could also say, I believe, President of the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon.
That's right. So I appreciated the shout out on the roast. We're excited about it.
Well, no doubt you are, and that is a fundraiser. And as you were saying when you were here, it was Monday, wasn't it? That we
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday. We introduced Dory Mitchell, who is to be roasted this year.
A little nervous about it, but she's going to be there.
And that's what they were talking about at the Capitol Theater on the last Tuesday in March.
That is correct.
Was 30th?
March 28th.
28th, okay, March 28th. I think that's kind of been a traditional date, even when the library was doing the roast.
Yeah, I believe that they've always kind of shot for the last 2 weeks of March, either on a Tuesday or Thursday.
But anyway, we want to talk about the expo this morning, which you know a little bit about.
A tad bit, yes.
Which you know a lot about because you are the Director of Marketing and Events. And I want to think this has been a good job for you, that you enjoy what you're doing. You've come in here and you've added things. People know more about us now than they did when you arrived, I believe.
I would say that's fair. That was a fair statement. But that has not just been me. That has been the culmination of a lot of efforts that have gone forth, trying really hard with all the demographics that we try to hit, both within the county, within the state, and then, of course, nationally. And the tactics to try to reach those populations is very different for each one. So we have worked really hard to create a local presence, because I'm still amazed, even after all of the efforts that we've done. I have run into people just in the past couple of weeks who said, I didn't even know we had an expo. And I find that really stunning.
Well, you want to wonder, what rock did you come from?
Well, I guess, but I've learned to overcome that just a little bit, because my first question is, have you ever been to the fair? Mm-hmm. And about 50% will say yes, but they didn't realize that the expo was a separate entity from all the rest of the grounds, and that we function a little differently. So they hadn't put two and two together. So they'd been there, but they didn't really realize it was an expo. Yeah. But then the others, they've just apparently never had a reason or paid attention, and we get busy. I get that. There's still little places in town that I'm like, wait, what? We have one of those? Yeah. So I'm guilty of it too. But the goal is to try to make our community aware of it, as well as the state. And the state has been very embracing in helping us create that awareness. And your guest, just a couple guests before me, Mark Pody, Senator Pody has been amazing at helping in so many ways and recommending. I get calls, Senator Pody told me to call you. You've got a great facility. And it's those kinds of things that make a great difference. And when we put the new signs on the interstate, the Expo funded that because we needed signs that said Expo Center, because when we have big events and people are coming in off the interstate, they need to know where to go. Mm-hmm. All of that was made possible thanks to Mark Pody and our House Representative Clark Boyd. Because they got up and they stood up and talked about it, and they invited us down there and they introduced us, and they said, if you ever need a space out in Wilson County, you need to go here. And I think we did one state event. When I first started, I think we had one state event that had been done. I think we've done about 8 at this point. So it makes a difference.
Oh, without a doubt. They're like 2 cheerleaders.
Oh, exactly. And I love it. I absolutely love it. For the work that they do, but for the fact that they support us so avidly, it makes a difference for us.
Well, you got anything really big to talk about in the next few days or weeks?
Well, one thing that I did want to share, so I try to do a year-end report, not on the fiscal year, but on the calendar year, just because we are municipally owned. We are a county-owned facility, and I think that the population needs to know how we're doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, because it's their building. And I am really, really excited to say that for the difference between 2021 and 2022, we still, even though we had an increase in expenses of, almost 140,000 increase in expenses for the year, we still netted a profit of over 126,000. So we absorbed those expenses and still came out in the black. And I was very proud of that. Whereas if you look at the previous year, we had a profit of about 247,000. About 50,000 of that was part of the CARES Act funding. So if you want to compare apples to apples, it was about a $200,000 profit compared to 126. So yes, it did go down, but there were some two very targeted pockets of money of where that came from. So very happy about that.
Okay, you're in the black. Either way, both times.
Either way, both times. Either way. And we have got some really cool things coming up.
Okay, well, hold your thought right there. We'll take a break and we'll talk about those. Gail Hibbert is my guest. This is Coleman Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota. Check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Lighter than normal, but it's busy on 24 westbound and through the Hickory Hollow area. All that traffic coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County into Davidson County. A little bit of radar spotted down I-40 through Kingston Springs again this morning. Keep that in mind, especially 40 east coming in from Dixon County, arriving there in that area of Kingston Springs and Pegram. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee. They've got edibles, flowers, concentrates. They're online for orders at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Ready to purchase your new home? Give us your list of needs and your budget, and we will start the hunt for your dream home.
We are full-time real estate agents with over 44 years of experience, and we are ready to help you.
There is no obligation. Call us today, and remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoler at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Coleman and Company here on a Friday morning. We welcome Gail Hibbert, Director of Marketing and Events at the Farm Bureau Expo Center, and we get Farm Bureau in there. They have the naming rights to that Expo Center, which is no doubt has increased their presence with the Ag Center and so on. And who better than Farm Bureau, I guess.
Well, it's a great marriage of focus. Obviously Farm Bureau is very focused on the agricultural component of it. although the expo doesn't do a whole lot that's specific to agriculture, we do sit on the ag ground, so it does make sense for us to have that name.
Okay, I sort of interrupted you to go to the break. You were about to tell us some of the events I believe that are going to be taking place.
Well, we have a full calendar. We hit January running. We've already had an RV show, so if you missed that, you missed the opportunity to see the entire expo center packed with RVs. Walking room down aisles only. It was back to back to back. I was absolutely amazed on how they did that. But it was a very successful show, so we were very happy to have them back. They're one of ours that have been with us for a long time, and they continue to come back and are booked for 3 more years. So excited.
And you love that repeat business.
I love that repeat business
because if they've been here one time and kind of learned the ropes, it's easier the second time. Probably easier for you too.
It is. It is. It's as easy as you open up the folder and go and make a phone call and say, "Did you want the same setup as last year?"
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to rethink anything. So it does make a big difference. And you know, they've really been our champions. And I love working with them. The group that we have in this weekend, Meat Authority, could not be a nicer group of people to work with. Just really enjoy having them. And again, just like you said, it's like, oh, are we doing the same thing? Okay, good. You know, and then we just kind of help where we're needed because they pretty much have the routine down. But speaking of Meat Authority, it's a big deal for them this weekend, especially starting today. Fisk University has never had a gymnastics team that would compete on the collegiate level, and they have one now. And we have a young lady that is a native of Lebanon who is coming back. Her name is Morgan Price, and she will be competing today. So I think it's kind of cool that we've got an event that is a state-based event. They're out of Clarksville. And then we've got a Lebanon native that's going to be coming back home from Fisk University to compete in her own hometown. Kind of a cool story. Very cool story.
Now, can the public attend this?
Yes, they can. And tickets are $15 if they want to go. We've already set up a whole lot of extra chairs because we expect there to be a whole lot of extra people there.
And where exactly will this be?
Inside the expo,
All right.
in the main exhibit
So
hall.
don't worry about the weather or anything, although the weather's not that bad, but it'd be indoors, okay?
Right, exactly. And there's food. We've got our food and beverage providers that are out there in the hallway. So don't worry about having to, run out and get something to eat. You can go right out into the hallway and get something to eat. It's going to be an exciting day
What
at the
time's
expo.
that start?
They start at, I believe it is 8 o'clock this morning. So they should be ramping up. I'm not sure exactly when Morgan's competing, but I know that the news media is planning to come out. I know that the Mayor Hutto plans to come out. So there's a lot of activity and flurry around this, and an exciting day for Fisk University for sure.
Well, I'm glad you're here to tell our audience about that, and then very timely because it's less than 8 o'clock. If you want to go, you
still have time
to prohibit you.
That's right. You still have time. But that's just one. I mean, Meat Authority is a great event no matter what, but a very special event for this year. And then we've got a bunch of dance teams coming on board like they normally do, and we have the home show coming up also, Wilson Bank and Trust's home show, which is a staple on our lineup. And
that's around the middle of February, isn't it?
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct. And of course, we've got gun shows. There was some confusion. The Lamar Sign Company put up billboards that were wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. So anybody who thinks that there's a gun show at the expo this weekend, there is not. And so don't come to the expo for a gun show this weekend. Their next show will be the 11th and 12th of March.
Right.
So that's an important disclaimer we want people to be aware of.
Well, how does that go? You have a lot to attend. That's a big thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And I'm sure all rules and regulations are followed. I've followed. I don't know what they are.
Absolutely.
But it is it's a popular thing, and for you to land that, I guess that's another feather in your cap, so to speak.
We have a great relationship with the RK Group, a great relationship, and I am super impressed with Rex Curley, who owns that organization, in the fact that when this whole thing went down with the confusion we started getting phone calls on, well, there's a billboard saying you have a gun show. And I'm sitting there looking at our calendar going, no, I've got children and gymnastics. That's not a great combination. And so I had to do some investigating, finally figured out what was going on. Rex took responsibility and ran with trying to solve that problem. And but he was very, very responsive. He saw the potential. This is not a good combination, and he responded responsibly, and he responded in a timely manner, and we got it taken care of. And I just really appreciate that. But you're absolutely right. All rules and regulations are followed. If you're bringing a gun in to sell, you don't get but inside the door. It has to be checked. It has to be zip tied, and that's all done before you ever get to a ticket table. And that has to stay on there. So anything that is noticed that is not zip tied, they are approached by the sheriff department because the sheriff department is present. So
it's totally safe. And anybody
absolutely.
that hasn't been might be interested going and worried about it. You don't have to.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And it's not just guns. There's knives or anything associated with different organizations or different activities that you may want, whether it's hunting or you're just looking for something for personal safety. There's classes that are talked about. There's all kinds of stuff, a paraphernalia that goes around that particular genre of interest. So it's a good show.
How often do they have that?
Not as often as Rex would like.
Oh, it's not a monthly thing.
It is not a monthly thing. Towards the end of the year, like usually October, November, December, I usually have one each month. Rex would really like to have more in the spring. I just don't have the dates for him right now. He is having one on March 11th and 12th. I had a cancellation. He picked that up real quick. He has another one in May and then in July.
Well, that's not every month, but it's getting close.
It's getting close, but the business is there. I mean, it's not like he just has 50, 60 people. He has hundreds of people coming into this. So, and again, that's one of those no-brainer setups. We just kind of stand back and watch it happen.
And again, all those people that come for any event really at the expo are potential restaurant visitors, potential buyers at gas stations if they're running low, that sort of thing. They're going to spend some more money here, is what I'm getting at.
That's exactly true. Not likely to be staying at a hotel for that particular kind of event, but you're absolutely correct. Restaurants, retail, gas stations, they're definitely going to hit that. Pretty much any event we have is going to impact the economic status within the city and within the county.
And that's just the way it is. And so
That's
we're
the way
that
it's supposed to be.
The more that we could get here, the better we're probably going to be locally, economically.
That is correct. That's absolutely correct. And that's why I like the spread out between local and national events.
Yeah. We got about 3 minutes. What else is on your mind this morning?
I would just encourage everybody to check out our calendar online. If you have any questions, you can certainly give us a call at 615-450-3049 or check out the website, which is farmbureauexpo.com, and the Facebook page is also at Farm Bureau Expo. Philip does a great job in trying to keep that updated so that people know what's going on. He tries not to go out too far because things do change. So, a good 3-month, 4-month stretch is usually what you'll find. But if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or
You
check out
have
the
a
website.
few available dates, especially first of the week, maybe. I would think that sometimes, though, you need a day where there's nobody there to kind of get caught up or do some things you can't do when everybody is there.
That's true. Monday, Tuesday are the dates pretty much that we use for deep cleaning, prepping for what's coming up. As far as weekends are concerned, I think I had a cancellation. I think I have one Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the main exhibit hall for the rest of the year. That may change, but working on it. I'm doing some shifting, doing some forecasting, trying to plan to see when some of our regulars will be back. But if you're interested in a date, don't assume I don't have space. Call me, We'll see what we can figure out and give you some alternatives if what you're looking for doesn't work.
And then I think, too, we got time to mention your team. You don't have a big staff, but you have, I think, an adequate staff and some people who really do a good job.
There are 6 of us out there that make everything happen. And when you think in terms of it is becoming more common that I have not one event going on at one time, that I have 3, 4 events going on at one time. That gets busy, that gets hectic, and then that also means that there's more cleaning and prepping for the turnaround. And when you think about the fact that we have 6 people total, that we'll all pitch in, roll up our sleeves, and do whatever needs to be done, but we all have individual responsibilities.
And they keep that place pretty spiffy, too, right?
That is correct. That's correct. They do an amazing job. I am so blessed to be able to work with the team that we have.
Well, we're thankful to be able to talk to you from time to time as we've got it set up here each month. We'll see you in February, probably on this same Friday, and hope that you'll have even more good news to share with us. But why not? We got a great place.
It's a great place. I love talking about it. We should be very proud of it. And anybody that comes into the building seems to be very genuinely impressed and want to come back.
Okay, Gail, thanks a lot. Want everybody to have a happy, nice weekend. Maybe enjoy a little football. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.